welcome to Good Luck Honcast. My name is SUNSfan. Joining me as always, xenocide of Good Luck Honcasting, which I already said, but thanks to honcast.com for letting us stream on their stream. Love you guys. And this is the S2 versus community event. So far, it's been pretty back and forth, S2 versus the community. I believe it's like 9 to 11 or something like that in favor of
And
S2.
here's where you're wrong, because clearly you have not updated
not checked
your
anyway.
Stats. How dare you, good
Right,
sir?
by all
It is 8 to
means,
13. 8 to 13. We have made a
Close.
comeback. We have picked up an additional 20 silver coins for everyone.
Good.
But yes, no,
And
I
this
so rudely
is the,
interrupted you.
Yeah, so this is the 1400 brackets. Now, if in case you guys don't already know, if S2 loses any of these games, everybody in the entire game gets 10 silver coins, as Xenocide was just alluded to. This is obviously AP, not casual mode. Oh, no, they picked...
Oh, is that
God.
the Ronin Swiftblade?
Yes, it
I have
is.
not got a
Sweet.
chance to see it. Oh, Cthulhu, man. So this will be entertaining. We get to see a whole bunch of heroes that we haven't seen play, with the exception of Amon-Ra, who's been played in like every single game in the existence upon.
Yeah. That's
Amon-Ra,
true. Now we have somebody in the
how
chat
you-
that wants us to cast this as a competitive game, since it's 1400s. What do you think?
I think this will just be an interesting thing, because obviously these people have struggled at some point with winning a whole bunch of games, and that can be for a variety of reasons. So we'll just take it as it is. I think we can try and do this very seriously.
I
Yeah.
will try my best. I will try my darndest, I tell you what.
All right, so an
Swiftblade
interesting
looks
lineup
sick.
here. This is one of the better lineups that we've seen in the recent competitive scene. More unique than we've... I got nothing. Oh, we
They
do
have
have...
Sharp Teeth on Legion,
They do.
Predator,
That's
and
true.
Dampier. I'm glad to see Dampier. Love that hero. Big proponent of that hero. It's like a Down syndrome version of Pebbles, basically, which is why I love him. But it does have the snowball effect that we've been talking about all day now. And S2 Slayer basically mentioning that they're going to get fired if they lose, apparently, which seems a little harsh, but hey, what are you going to do?
Listen,
But we're gonna
gotta
see
keep that
Cthulhu
skill
Font,
up
too.
on the S2 staff. You know?
Yeah.
So this will be a little bit interesting. I'm very excited to see the cuddly Swiftblade alternate avatar that was just released here. So that'll be a real treat to see. We have a very traditional lane in Glacius and Swiftblade at top, and of course the not so traditional lane of Amon-Ra and Gauntlet at bottom. That'll be a combination of heroes that both kind of need a little bit of farm, both can output a whole bunch of magical damage, but maybe not necessarily the best matchup at first glance, but we'll see how that goes. In mid, we have Dr. Repulsor, and I don't know if it's going to stay this way, since Predator is looking like he might be jungling, but I would love to see more people run a dual lane mid against Dr. Repulsor. It seems to be something that we see commonly in higher MMR type games, but not something that we necessarily see in every day, day-to-day kind of gameplay, and it's something that's usually very effective against heroes that need a lot of farm in mid, such as Dr. Repulsor, Solstice, and stuff like that. As we have action up at top, Dampier's getting caught out in the middle of nowhere. You can see that Swiftblade just does a lot of damage early, but good job by Cthulhu on throwing down the block, making sure that Swiftblade can't get in range. Glacius is trying to head over there. Slayer's like, God, I don't want to get fired. I really wanted that kill, but unfortunately for them, could not quite pull it off.
We're going to allow free farm, a little bit of free farm there for Swiftblade thanks to that. And the question is Cthulhu Font going to jungle, or is it going to be one of those types where you pick up a jungle creep and come back to lane, which is what I prefer to see, because he's pretty much useless in the jungle, after eating that creep, of course. But
Yeah.
Dampier, I'm very excited to see, actually.
I
Yeah,
am,
big,
again.
big,
It's always exciting to see heroes that you just haven't seen played yet today, and we've kind of seen a lot of patterns with certain heroes being picked. So a lot of these heroes will be first for us as far as today goes with the STVS community again. There's a combination of Swiftblade and man, Dampier's trying to do a little fancy here with his jukes and Cthulhu Font. I mean, if Glacius is not careful here, they can throw out a decent amount of damage. There's a charge going straight through the trees. I'm really just not sure it's going to come out on top as Dampier takes one more hit. Will go down and just before Glacius, and Glacius will get away. Man, 7 HP. Was probably down to like 1 or 2 right at the event there, and Slayer, playing for his job, does end up picking up first blood. So
That's clutch right there, S2.
Exactly.
Mr. Slayer. Very clutch. Not sure why he didn't pick Slayer, though, aka Pyromancer, but hey. It's all good. It's all good in my heart. Now, Electrician versus 2 melee bottom, that's going to be very interesting. You shouldn't really have too much of an issue. I mean, usually you have Gauntlet in mid, but of course you got a Dr. Repulsor, so he has to go mid. Of course you can lane with Gauntlet, just not as effective, I guess you could say, as a solo mid, but still a very good hero. We also don't see very often. Excited to see him as well. His passive, again, is just ridiculous against any melee hero, which is going to be majority of the Legion team, all but one, basically. So look for that passive to be very effective. And I mean, as far as late game is concerned, we got Swiftblade being, well, I guess Swiftblade / Dr. Repulsor would be the hardest carry. And then, of course, you got Amon-Ra as a side carry. But on the Legion side, it's a little bit more interesting. Obviously, you have the very standard Predator late game carry. Then you have very unknown type heroes such as Dampier, which I am a big fan of course, Electrician, which we've talked about a lot. But
yeah, is that top actually? Glacian's gonna get taken down by the thundering hooves of the elephant that is Cthulhu font.
Don't say hooves.
How dare you? Hooves. It behooves you to listen to my pronunciation of words. But I have to say, as far as hero sounds go, Cthulhu font, I'm a big fan of. It's just so nice to hear that elephant, especially when he dies. It's a very satisfying death sound.
It's so hard to pick and kill him. No token yet? Where are the hacks? I don't know what that means. You?
He's just probably joking. Maybe S2 gives themselves... I don't know, I got nothing. He's probably just making some jokes about S2 playing the game and being able to do whatever
understands the joke. Everybody just ignored him.
Exactly. Probably like, how dare you?
We didn't really talk about mid, but Engineer versus Dr. Repulsor, not a very good matchup for...
Second Engineer mid that we've seen. Out of 2 Engineer games that we've seen.
Top lane, Swiftblade. Wow, a lot of damage going after Dampier. Looks like Glacius is yet again going to get the second kill on him. And unfortunately, Cthulhu font, to no fault of his own, really can't just do anything.
He's not
it's
very
Cthulhu
useful
font.
in that role, unfortunately. Yeah. And they're
I
just
would
going to
have
continue
preferred to have Predator in that lane. I mean, Predator is
that would have been a
somewhat of
decent
a counter. He won't die because of the stone hide, and he can farm pretty decently. And you can have Mr. Fatty McFatty in the forest instead of Predator. So a little bit of misstep there, but meh.
I see. Very interesting analysis.
But I mean, Engineer mid is kind of hurting for a squirt in here. He just hit level 5. Dr. Repulsor is a creep or 2 away from level 6, so getting dominated in the level department.
Well,
as far as CS goes.
He's 5-2 as far as CS goes, compared to 20-6 for DR. Obviously, DR has been putting out a lot more damage. Actually, I have not used the damage tab too much. You can see, not too shocking that Swiftblade throwing out a lot of damage early game. That top lane really doing well, but DR.
Yeah, and you see Dr. Repulsor's lap because Engineer is just playing very, very passive.
Yeah, he's playing.
It seems like he's intimidated.
Well,
I'm somewhat intimidated
too.
I'm intimidated by Dr. Repulsor, obviously in general, but he's going against S2. He knows it might be cast, so sometimes nerves get to you as well. I'm not sure if that even is the case, but just throwing ideas out there, obviously. And it looks like he's going to bottle. Okay, he doesn't have a bottle. That's right. He picked up haste. He's going to go top, try to. Now I do like how he hasn't gotten mines yet. That's a good sign. A good sign so far. He's going to be ganking top. Swiftblade obviously has escapability here, and is he going to spin? Not going to spin right away. Nice combo there. And it looks like Swiftblade is going to apply all his pressure to Engineer, but he is taking a lot of damage in the meantime. Dampier still has a little bit of mana left, so that's going to be a kill. On top of Cthulhu font. Now the pressure is going to be applied to Glacius. Should be fine here.
Yeah, meanwhile, bottom, there's something strange. That's a very aggressive play being 1v2. Meanwhile, Electrician's going to come and hold down Gauntlet. There's nothing that Rock can do quite yet. His stun will not be up for another few seconds. Now they're going to continue to play aggressive here. Amon-Ra's in a lot of trouble. He can use his
1 second
path of destruction. Meanwhile, at top, we do have Cthulhu Pump go down, and at bottom, we have a death, finally, for Amon-Ra. So lots of back and forth action in both these lanes, and
yeah, very good.
You know, I have to say that, you know, Swiftblade is obviously a good carry, but he's definitely a hero that you want to see him play aggressive, you know, early because he does so much damage right off the, you know, right out of the gates, I guess.
I used to be of the notion that if you didn't get early kills with him, if you just let him free farm, he wouldn't be nearly as useful as when he gets killed, which wasn't 100% true because I've proved that wrong many a time, but he's still like if you let him free farm, obviously he's going to be ridiculous, just like any hero in the game. But his bread and butter is getting early game kills, so you're absolutely right.
Yeah,
and he is level 6 now, so he can combo, spin, and ult. And the fact that he's with Glacius, having that brilliance called Chilling Presence, allows him to mana regen quite a bit, so not going to be too big of an issue. And the fact that we've got some mana-intensive heroes here,
oh, what are you doing?
Gauntlet especially, actually, and Repulsor, it's going to help quite a bit.
Yeah, we do see Cthulhuphon running into Swiftblade off here, and I don't think they want to get too close to him as the ult goes in, but Cthulhuphon's very tanky. Manages to take basically all of that ult, and really, I think he should be safe unless something crazy happens. You do have initiation going on to Glacius, and ult coming in from Cthulhuphon, not really doing that much damage, but they do manage to take down Glacius in the end. And now Swiftblade's in a little bit of trouble. He wants to maybe get the last hit in on Cthulhuphon, but needs to be careful that he doesn't end up getting himself stuck between a Dampier and a Cthulhuphon here, you know? So what that to happen is Engineer decides to come all the way from mid, does get a cake, and that finishes him off. So Swiftblade really stayed around for too long, and Dr. Repulsor looking a little hungry here. Maybe he wants to come in, get a kill on this cuddly little elephant. But apparently,
that's the guy's name.
Apparently he's just going to hang out and not be overly aggressive. Starting to get bit auto attacks onto Dampier, but gets stunned instead, and that really was not the most effective gank in the world for him. You do have a Predator hanging out in the Elborn jungle. Man, there's just heroes left and right here, as Electrician's going to initiate onto Dr. Repulsor, taking some damage, but Electrician's taking a lot from the tower, and there's a lead coming in, along with Cthulhuphon, and there goes Dr. Repulsor. So after Dr. Repulsor decides to come over and maybe try and get a little gank.
It's a 3v5, I mean, not a whole lot they can do at the end of the day. You got Gauntlet and Amun-Ra just farming bottom. I guess they're going to try to push here, which I don't know if that's worth it in the end of the day, because early kills are going to be pretty much, they're pretty huge. Now, Chase looks like it's onto Predator, but Swiftblade does not have his ult for another 30 seconds. Going to use that spin. Predator does not have any mana for Stone High, but should be able to get away here. Not a whole lot. Well, actually, there's a Ice Blast. Wow, he didn't. Okay, so he didn't run towards the tower. Interesting choice, but might have been dead anyway because the Ice Blast was ready to go. And Thunder Blast, of course, is what's really called. God, I really need to learn these names.
And taking a look at the GPM, we still can see it. Man, this poor Glacius is really struggling to go against Dampier. Just a ton of first damage. There's the charge from Cthulhuphon taking him down. We did have a tower also denied up there at top by Swiftblade. It's a good job by, oh, what is your name? Xenopher? I was thinking.
Xenopher.
He's getting that deny while his teammate gets taken down there. As in mid, we have more action. It's back and forth. Lots of ganking going on so far. Dr. Blue's going to use his ult to push back behind the tower, and he should be safe and sound there. But the Legion team is playing very aggressive, really roaming across the map as we have initiation coming in from Gauntlet. Gets a nice power glove there, but he's in a lot of trouble. Don't really know what's going to happen as Gauntlet will manage to barely get away. Great slow by Dr. Repulsor, keeping him safe. We'll see if... nope! No last hit from Engineer as Engineer gets taken down, and now Electrician's in a lot of trouble. Gets killed as well by Jamestown. Playing that Dr. Repulsor, getting a double tap in middle.
And here's Dampier in the flank here. He might... I don't know if he has enough to get a kill, actually, but... a lot of people ask me about Dampier, because I made a first-person view. There is a regen rune up there he might want, and then he might be able to insta-skip somebody, but... The reason he's like a down syndrome version of Pebbles is because, well, he does a lot of burst damage, but he doesn't have really a set stun. It looks like he's going to initiate onto Amun-Ra. It's still somewhat tanky. Does not have... Oh, a nice deny. Does not have enough mana to use his ult to survive, though. So will die in the end.
Alright, well, let's give him some credit for that. He went in 1v3.
Yeah, that's true. Balls, no doubt.
That's
no
true.
Doubt.
They were
He's
quite,
got some big
quite
balls
weighty.
on that.
They have a lot of mass.
Dampier is one of those heroes where I think the Codex is not out of the question either. Although I personally prefer to get spell shards on him because it just the stats and everything that goes along with it usually works out a little bit better. But the fact that I think I can't remember when the patch was applied, but it was a few months ago when he was buffed a little bit. Basically, let me find him real quick. Get the names right. His Terrorize first skill basically makes them run around like a bunch of monkeys. Was slowed down quite a bit, which helps out in actually clicking the hero, which is actually an issue because they run around like maniacs. He couldn't really do anything. And then secondly, his ultimate, which he can gain charges with, if he uses it on a hero and gets the kill, he will gain full charges right away, which is awesome. I'd love to see that. but it's a hero that I wish would come into competitive play because he has a lot of potential. Just has a couple weaknesses that, just at the end of the day, Pebbles. I mean, I agree with it. Pebbles is just a better pick, but a very, very similar hero.
Well, it's also the better pick because you don't have to rely on getting any charges on your ultimate to do maximum damage.
Yeah.
So.
Honestly, what do you think would happen if they just gave him 3 charges right at the beginning?
Or just eliminated the charges completely. I mean, I know they want to make it scale a little bit so he's not completely all that powerful at level 6, but you know, I feel like if they tweaked him a little bit, then basically, as you said, he becomes like Pebbles, which they already have in the game. So it's not like they need to give him a little. So he's a vampiric. That was very fitting for Halloween, by the way, which is coming up.
I think his passive, the Bloodthirst, is just so underrated. It's ridiculous. It gives 30, I think it's 30% lifesteal level 4.
Yeah, especially when you have a team with a whole bunch of kind of auto-attacking carry heroes. You know, maybe Predator can really benefit from that later in this game.
Well, and the fact that it gives not as much, but still some lifesteal to range heroes is ridiculous. You don't really see that
gracious. What? Poor guy.
Poor guy.
Got fooled by the illusion. Anyways, we are actually having a team fight here. So Amon Ra will go down. Does have his ult, so oh no, if he gets back up, does a lot of damage. Then a Cthulhu Funk is taken down, and damage is in the last trouble too. There's a double kill actually for Dr. Repulsor, who's gonna maybe get a triple. Oh nope, the last hit gets thrown down by King. I want to say Cthulhu, but I'm not going to.
King Cthulhu.
Cthulhu, indeed. Too bad he's not playing that cuddly little elephant. But again, that's a decent turnaround there for the Hellborn team, which looked like maybe at first they were in a little bit of trouble. Glacius obviously getting caught out there, a little bit fooled by that illusion that he thought was real.
The name is Cthulhu, though, normally, right? Or is it Cthulhu? Why are there two different... It really bothers me. And then the Metallica song is called... Oh god, I can't remember what it's called.
Well, you're the Metallica guy, so you'll...
Yeah, it's like Cthulhu. I don't know, whatever it is, it apparently is misspelled. Normal name. So it's just very confusing. Now I see a Cthulhu font and then S2 King Cthulhu. Like, I don't know. I don't know what's real anymore.
Yeah, I can't help you on that one.
It's like we're living in a Matrix. Oh god.
I clearly see how the
not like this. Not like this.
Oh god, your favorite line from that movie. Indeed, as you do have a sustainer picked up on Swiftblade, so at least looking like he's on track for around a 20-minute rune cleaver, so not doing a terrible job of farming. He is at 244 gold per minute, which not great, not bad either. He also manages to TP out, sensing that the Legion team was on their way. Now,
he learned from his sensei!
Yes, both Amon Ra, Glacius, and Gauntlet need to be a little careful here. They don't overextend, as it is a 3v4 at this point in time. They don't want to get overly aggressive and end up feeding, someone like Predator more kills and letting it going.
Yeah, speaking of Predator, no items to show for as of yet. Being in the jungle, you're not really going to get the greatest farm, depending on how you do it, but just in general, it's better to have him in lane to farm, unless your lineup doesn't allow it, which we've talked about. I feel like Predator switching with Cthulhu would make a big difference here. But yeah, we're going to have a little bit of amalgamation at top here, 4v3 situation. Meanwhile, Dr. Repulsor is just going to be pushing bottom, and he's farming decently. Looks like he's on his way to that Hellflower. About halfway to his Hellflower, actually. There's an interesting hook there from Gauntlet. Gonna just... I don't know. He was just showing Glacius, you know what? This is an example of what not to do late game, so don't get in my way again.
Exactly.
Basically.
That's exactly what I was thinking he was doing too. So as far as the late game, who do you think has the better late game?
Ooh, that's a good one. Well, as far as having the hardest carry, as Swiftblade is going to get initiated on by Predator, but nothing's going to come of it thanks to the invisibility, but he is going to be turned on and raped in the process. The hardest carry in this game, obviously, is Predator. In this particular game, though, it's not in the entire game. But the combination of Ra, Dr. Repulsor, and Swiftblade, I think it's going to be too much. So I'll say Hellborn has a better late game. Meanwhile, they're taking a lot of freaking damage. Will go down as well. So 2 for nothing exchange there. Not too good for Legion at this point. They need to get back on that horse. I mean, Dampier,
and meanwhile, at the bottom lane, you have Dr. Repulsor.
Yes.
Wow!
But that's the
Dr.
most frustrating thing with Dampier is when you die, you have to recharge everything, and that's the biggest downfall with him.
It's kind of like playing Soul Stealer, except not nearly
worse.
as helpful. And can't carry a late game. Anyways, Dr. Pose looks to take down that tower, will get it, and get away with his ultimate before Predator really gets in there to do much of anything. Meanwhile, you do have the Hellborn team pushing another tier 2 tower in mid. They will easily take that down. Not much resistance being thrown up by the Legion team so far. They only have 2 towers still up as... Oh, Gauntlet! Way overextending there. As, yeah, he's trying to show off to Dampier, saying, I can do that too. Unfortunately, does not work out well, as Glacius actually gets off a very good ult. That's almost that is the full extent of channeling that. Nobody decided to disable Glacius, so got off a lot of damage there. And the chase is on onto Electrician, who purges himself, or not purges himself. Cleansing shocks himself. That sounds like a colon cleanse.
Well, you can say purge, that's fine.
What kind of name is that?
Cleansing bowels, yes indeed. The Predator Engineer taking a lot of damage from Dr. Pulsar. I don't see him getting out of this, as he's just gonna walk back into death, so that's fine.
As apparently, meanwhile, at top,
yes.
DR meets his old nemesis, Engineer, once again, and comes out on top of that one. I really haven't seen Engineer do almost anything this game so far, and his ult is, his ult could definitely be very useful in a lot of these teamfights.
Oh, speaking of useful, the Glacius ult that we saw, it was recently changed. Actually, recently, today, it was changed. Less RNG based. I think they lowered the damage, but lowered the AoE as well. The damage. So it's going to do more consistent damage, which I think you'll soon see that it actually ends up doing more damage because you're not basing
yeah,
off
they
RNG.
basically,
I like that.
I don't know, they almost like tripled the AoE for each little blast, so basically it allowed for more coverage of damage during Glacius' ult. And honestly, when you look at that patch, you can basically summarize every single change by made it less random. They either made the windows for you know, the attack damage a little bit smaller, or they made things a little bit less random with this or that. They also made it so runes cannot... There's no more of like 3 or 4 like illusion runes spawning in a row. It has to be a different one every single time. So
I get frustrated at the same time, but and again, the whole patch in general I liked because having less RNG is usually better in some cases. I just think the rune, that's not something you should mess with, but that's just me. That's just me. If we're gonna have a big ult here from Don on top of Electrician and Cthulhu Funk, Cthulhu's gonna charge away. Electrician in the meantime is gonna absolutely smack in the face. Meanwhile, Cthulhu Funk's just gonna run away with his life. He's just a big piece of meat at this point.
hey,
Looks like
there's an ult.
Predator died as well. There's an ult from Engineer. Looks like it's Dr. Repulsor just sitting in the purge effect for quite a while. He's gonna use his ult to try to catch up to Engineer, but I think it's a little bit too hasty of him, as he's gonna get absolutely destroyed thanks to that turret. And now Gauntlet's on the run. And there's a Swiftblade spin. Looks like he's going to get a kill on Engineer.
Well, that was an interesting
Cthulhu ended up dying. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, basically everyone for the Legion team by the end of that ended up getting taken down at one point or another. There's basically people scattered all over the map, down the river, down the top lane, so not really a very cohesive team fight from the Legion team there.
Yeah, definitely in Hellborn favor right now, and the fact that they pushed pretty hard at this point might benefit the Legion team. I mean, if they don't continue the pressure, even though they have a better late game in my opinion, if they do not continue the pressure and let somebody like a Predator free farm, it could spell doom for them late game. So obviously they have a big time advantage right now, and I expect them to most likely.
Yeah. So you know, who do you think is outfarming Glacius right now?
Without looking?
Yep.
On whose team?
Legion. Anyone.
Who's out-farming Glacius? Who is out-farming him?
Sure. On the Legion
Everybody.
team. Shut
I
up.
don't know.
The answer is
team.
nobody on the Legion team.
Oh, okay.
Because the entire Legion team is
Should've
farming
cheated.
like crap,
Holy
unfortunately
crap.
for them. So,
There's
not
one
looking
lopsided
too good.
pyramid.
Yeah.
It's like the pyramids of Egypt if there was a nuclear explosion on one side. That made kind of sense. Nuclear
Yeah,
explosion probably not the
so-
best. It's okay. You get the gist. It's okay.
I guess in the end we do, as the main point of that is Hellborn team is actually farming decently well, as yeah, the Legion team did a good job running around early and putting some pressure onto Team S2, but it kind of cost them in farm and levels right now. As looking at that, they are currently down 12k in gold and more importantly 10k in experience. 22 minutes into the game, that is a huge lead for S2.
And Hellflower picked up now on Dr. Rehorser. Meanwhile, Glacius is going to get pounded in here. Yep, he ends up dying. But Dampier ends up paying for his life as well, so a 1-for-1 exchange at the end of the day. And there's the ult from Swiftblade on top of Predator. Unfortunately, Stonehide will not help in that situation. Will use his lifesteal to stay alive a little bit longer, but not going to be enough. And speaking of that lifesteal, how much is... Okay, we're going to check this. We're going to do some math here, Xeno. We click on Mr. Carniverse here. So 7% of their current health, which I guess we can't really put a number on, but
let's say it's 1,000, so 70.
Alright.
Well,
But again, it's going to go down. It's going to go down gradually, of course, and then add in the 30% lifesteal from Dampier. That is going to be some ridiculous lifesteal from Predator. Really,
oh yeah, it'll be like gaining like 100 health per attack or something like that, which is a lot.
Wow, Engineer pretty ballsy. His ult on Amun-Ra. Ra should be fine at the end of the day, but Dr. Repulsor is going to come and try to apply some pressure to Engineer. Is Cthulhu able to do anything? And the answer is yes, I guess.
Dr. Repulsor, too short, son. What the heck is that? Anyways, now of course we have Swiftblade.
And now Dampier is stuck. He barely gets away, actually. Gauntlet, in the meantime, is going to try to grapple, but not really going to help him win today. There's the Glacier Soul. It's going to help get the kill on Mr. Dampier. And Ra's going to try to run away. Predator is just going to be content with auto-attacking Glacier. Cthulhu almost gets the kill on Amun-Ra. And there you see Predator just, again, need to prioritize.
Oh god, that elephant death squeal, that trumpet of doom is just too good. That gets me every time.
Now Predator showing off his the recipe for Firebrand. Basically, if you hover over him with your mouse, the enemy team, you'll see a Firebrand, and it won't look like a recipe. So they might be a little bit intimidated by that. That might be the reason he picked that up. What do you think?
Yeah, it could be. That's a very interesting ruse that he's using. You know, maybe it's kind of like the old World War II tactics, where you inflate a whole bunch of things that look like tanks and military setups, and being like, "Haha, we have something,"
like
when we really have
against
nothing.
Idra, right?
Yeah, if you're Huck, that's true. Make him rage quit. Maybe S2 will just give up and leave the game right now. Unfortunately, they are not Idra, so that does not look like too high a probability.
Yeah, it's too bad. I mean, at this point, it's looking pretty grim for Legion, and again, like I've been saying, I've seen this before. We've thrown games like this, where we're like, oh, we're content.
Well, we've thrown games in like every possible situation that you can imagine.
This is one of the many possibilities that we've had, or one of the possible things that have happened to us.
I'm pretty sure you can think of like any situation and then be like, yeah, we threw that game. We threw that game. We managed to pull it off.
It was never my fault, though, so that's the important thing to remember here. Looks like Gauntlet and Swiftblade are going to run into both Electrician and Dampier. Dampier's going to initiate. There's the ultimate from good old Swiftblade. He's going to try to spin now, I'm guessing, but he gets terrorized. There's the nice ultimate from Engineer, doing quite a bit of damage, purging the crap out of Gauntlet and Swiftblade. Swiftblade's going to get killed, but Electrician and Engineer are going to... I think that's still a fair trade, depending on how the game's been going. Gauntlet's taking quite a bit of damage from Dampier and Cthulhu Font. That's going to be a good exchange now. And there's the initiation finally from Mr. Predator, who only comes to battle to kill Mr. Glacius. Has like his target on his face or something like that. I don't know. Meanwhile, top lane, Dr. Pulsar and Amun-Ra get the tier 2 top tower. And it looks like Dampier is following exactly the SUNSfan guide to Dampier with item build. So, big shout out to...
no wonder they're getting completely destroyed.
Biagahami. Biagahami!
Now, speaking of that, we really haven't gotten to go over the cuddly names for every single player on the community side. I think this is a good opportunity to cheer them on. You're going
to say the name, and I'm going to say it how it's actually supposed to be pronounced. All right, go ahead.
All right. Biagahami.
Biagahami Ding Dong.
I see.
Oh, Hellflower on used on Dampier. Dr. also did a lot of damage. He was just sitting in the forest.
Yeah, it's like we call out their names and then they die. So let's test out this theory again. Modulus.
Alright, you pronounced it right. Good.
Darn it, it didn't work. I was hoping he'd just die in the fountain.
That's when I do it, too.
Bondi Cullen.
Bondi Cullen.
I see, of course, because he's Middle Eastern. And then, of course, we have Bergster and Jolly Cola wrapping that up for the community team.
Shout out to you guys. Without you, we would be watching a different game. And this has been fun to watch. Although, a little bit more in Hellborn Advantage at this point, but Never know.
Well, hey, you know,
Could
at
happen all night.
least the Legion's kind of trying to climb back into it. The unfortunate part is even when they win these team fights, they really just don't, like, their players just don't seem to be involved in the farming game all that much. Is Glacius getting himself in a lot of trouble. Kind of a waste of an ult there, but the Elite comes in at the last second from Predator to get the kill.
He loves Glacius.
I know. He's just like, oh, there's that Glacius. I'm gonna pounce in there.
What happened to that fire thingy, firebrand recipe? He might have sold it. Now he's going for
don't even know.
an ice brand.
I don't even know what to
there's
say
going to be
about
a huge amount of team fight here. Initiation from Dampier on Dr. Repulse. He's going to die before he can get his health off. That's unfortunate. Swiftblade's going to die before he gets any spells off too. So things are going really well for Legion right here. Getting 3 kills.
And then there's Gauntlet. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna go in there. Nope, take it back. I'm gonna let Amon-Ra die and then go in. Nope, take it back. Heading back to base. And when I say heading back to base, I mean heading back to the Legion's base, which, okay, they're just gonna use their spells on creeps.
Yeah.
Well then, we'll see what happens in the end. As Gauntlet's like, God, I'm like the best juker in the history of this game. Making a run for it. The leak goes on to him though, so he will be temporarily slowed. And here comes the Terrorize from Dampier. They barely managed to take him down. He manages to get one last grapple in there, but does die.
Where's
So
Predator? He needs to leap on
Cthulhu, good job.
right now.
Good job at least making that attempt at a jukery. We appreciate it.
Yeah, now I want to mention one thing here.
The Legion had destroyed a Hellborn tower.
If I were Predator, I would go straight Frostwolf this game. You have 1, 2, 3 melee, and they're, other than Dr. Repulse, are really very important heroes in that lineup. So Frostwolf's Skull would be excellent for both tanking and slowing, obviously, and give you a little bit of damage as well.
Yeah,
but
man, you look at this game though, and a game that Legion was almost completely out of as far as farm, experience, everything. The gap has now closed. You know, they're only down 6k in gold, and more importantly, only 2k in experience. So all these kind of awkward team fights where Legion ends up winning has really allowed them to get back into the game.
I apologize for anybody trying to message me. I can't read messages. Like, it doesn't work for some reason.
SUNSfan, you messed up again.
So sorry. But Swiftblade in the meantime just free farm. Looks like you're gonna be going for a, I hope not a Geos. I'm not a big fan. I've seen that quite a bit though. And I must say I'm not a big fan of Geos on Swiftblade. You don't really get anything out of it, I think.
Yeah,
get images, but meh.
Odd.
Hopefully he goes for Frostburn and not split it up at any point.
Yeah, it's like just kind of running around the jungle, maybe trying to lead people into like the 2 mines that are 3 mines. So is going the mine route a little bit different, obviously, than the beast mode engineer that we saw earlier today, who went all out with more of the legitimate wanting to win playing style, but that's okay.
Oh boy. Oh, bad. Oh, fuck, Swiftblade, unfortunately. Dampier most likely is going to end up dying regardless. There's a spin from Swiftblade doing a little bit of extra damage. Glacius going to fall in the end. Predator is going to be safe thanks to that engineer ult. And the Thulafon's going to get stunned here and will most likely get killed as well. And not charge away in time. And that big fat elephant just drops to his knees and... Wait, is that really his death animation? He just stands there?
No, I think he maybe got bugged out just a little bit there. Either that or he saw the pumpkins across the way just staring at him. He's like, oh, those pumpkins, Halloween, yeah. And Swiftblade gets held down by Electrician. Nothing really going to come of that as the rest of the Hellborn team is there to support Mr. Swiftblade in his endeavors. And I don't know, like as much as I'm cheering for the Legion team here, it's going to be kind of hard for them to get back into this game, especially if you have Swiftblade really push on his farming ability. You know, he picked up that. When did he pick up the Rune Cleaver? Was that somewhere around 20 minutes?
Yeah, it was before, I think. 18,
so
19.
He obviously farmed that very quickly, and usually, my usual rule, the couple times I play Swiftblade, it's like, okay, so you get the Rune Cleaver, usually around 10 or 11 minutes after that, you're looking to pick up like a Frostburn or another kind of decent item, and he really hasn't done that. He hasn't been
have
farming
boots
that
either.
well.
Or
Just kind of roaming around, getting stuck in these team fights, and hasn't had the chance to just sit back and farm, which is the main benefit of getting the Rune Cleaver with that hero.
What do you think of his avatar? I really like it.
I think it's good. I mean, I'm a big fan. All I ask for, honestly, with these old avatars, it's just it needs to look different. It needs to be a different concept. I'm not a big fan of like the oh really owl Zephyr, you know, where it just looks like the owl except white. But I'm a big fan of the rodent Swiftblade. As we have initiation going in here, big plays. Man, there's a lot of various damage going on. The spin from Swiftblade dealing more and more damage here, but he might be in a little bit of trouble once that spin's stopped. There's the ultimate. We'll see if that does enough damage to maybe turn this for him. But now they're all stuck inside of that ultimate, and there it is. You can really see the benefits of the engineer ult, locking everyone down in there. I'm shocked that those mines did not go off. After all that, all that, nobody stepped close to those mines. But either way, it didn't really matter as S2 again struggles in a team fight scenario, and just like that, 3k experience advantage for the Legion, and they basically completely closed the gap in this game.
Yeah, and out of nowhere now, Dampier is going to be picking up Spell Shards and a Frost Brand. So probably going to go into Frost Burn in the eventually. And that's also a very good item. I mean, any item that's going to help your move speed and survivability is pretty much you have to get, or it helps you with burst damage, which obviously that doesn't. But
yeah, I mean the way you want to look at Predator is basically whatever keeps you attacking heroes. Wait, you're talking about Dampier?
Yeah, he's picking up,
going for the. So he's going for a little bit more of the not so much the burst damage, magic damage build, where you maybe go for a Codex after picking up spell shards. But
you go for more late game. I respect that. I respect that.
Well, he's throwing it down. He's like, listen, man, I'm going to carry you guys to victory. My name is Biggie.
SUNSfan?
Biggie, Tommy.
I thought you were going to say mine, because I carry with that hero. I don't know if you're aware of that.
Yeah, that's just like you saying that Plague Rider is a carry hero, you know. Yeah.
I don't say he's a carry hero, I say I carry with him, which is completely true, actually. Stats don't lie, bro. Right? Now, Cthulhu Font is very, very tanky. He has the Helm of Black Legion Shaman's Headrest combination. He's a ring mail, so most likely going for Soul's Bulwark, I would assume. That would probably be the best pickup as well. After Repulsor, he's going to have to be careful. He's going to use his Health Flower. I believe he used it on Dampier, but unfortunately he's going to get caught off guard and absolutely just maul him. Glacius behind the tree, so they can't really see him yet. Decent ult he had. He's going to get stunned by Engineer. Wow! Look at the first damage from Dampier. It's ridiculous. You see the Gauntlet getting stuck inside the Purge. He get purged twice and killed by Dampier. Now Amun Ra is basically the last one standing in this fight.
Yeah, that's not gonna last
as well. My goodness. The Swiftblade in the other hand, he's
Hey guys, sorry I wasn't there. I told you guys not to go in. I really wanted to finish my Steam boots. Sorry.
That sounds like me, actually.
I know. That's what I was trying
to
imitate.
You guys... Alright, so if that's the case, if that's what actually happened, then that's fine. I mean, you guys, which I'm assuming this is what happened in this game, they don't coordinate anything, they just go into fights without asking permission from the caller, aka me, who basically gives up on games now because you guys are so awful. But, yeah, if you need
now,
to
see, I don't know why you have to say you guys, when all I do is I just follow the people I'm stuck supporting, since people just automatically pick heroes that they suck with because they can't carry.
I do it to not hurt everyone's feelings. I feel like if I say everybody, then everybody's feeling like, oh, it's not me, he's probably thinking of somebody else. But in actuality, it's probably them.
That's true. Anyways.
It's never using, it's never you.
I'm so glad
Frostburn officially finished on Dampier and Predator, actually. And ooh, Warp Clef picked up on, I didn't see who that was. I'm guessing it's going to be Predator, which is obviously going to help quite a bit. Is that on Predator?
I honestly did not see the cuddly little UI thing pop up, so I'm
going to ask Breaky how he shows the inventory of people. You can look at their view basically and see exactly what they're seeing. And I'll have to ask how you do that. Like you can see in their stash or whatever.
That seems very awesome. But meanwhile, speaking of not so awesome for our elephant friend, he's going to be in a little bit of trouble. Does get silenced, but no more damage goes on to him. He's going to try and lead them across the mines. Is it going to? Oh, no, darn it!
No.
I just once, man. Wait, do they know it's there? Come on.
I just don't want to overextend. I mean, it's not in a very good spot.
Come on.
But still.
It's not the best spot, but they've like deliberately tried to lead them over that. They've had like team fights there, and nothing.
How much damage does each one do? 300 magic damage for one.
I don't think he realized that he just can't place any more mines at this point, because he's just replacing them there. But,
well, I think one timed out, I think. Maybe
they
not.
don't. You just have a finite amount that you can place on the map at any one time.
Yeah, I don't play heroes that have skills that suck. I don't play engineer, basically. That's all it comes down to.
And actually, Nate, who we play with sometimes, is a big engineer fan, and he just loves playing with these like terrible heroes. He just like maxes mines and it's like sits in the river. It's like, see guys, I'm gonna prove to you that it's good. And he gets like 1 kill and he's super happy.
Demonic breastplate on Cthulhu font. So that's what a warpleft was. No. Sorry, warpleft? Okay, now I don't.
You just have no idea what's going on.
I do. I don't understand why.
As the warpleft goes on to Predator for no reason, maybe he'll go for pick up a Thunderclaw next and throw down the charged hammer.
Second demonic is a complete waste. I mean, you have.
This better not be the second game in a row where we see 2 demonic breastplates on one team, or I will not be necessarily thrilled with our community friends.
I mean, he could easily just. He did go Frostburn, and obviously getting a Geos isn't the best thing to do, but I would still break it up and get a Frostwolf because it's that good. And it's been, I mean, not that it's been necessarily buffed. Actually, I guess it has been buffed to some degree for strength heroes because you're going to get more strength out of it. So what am I thinking? Can't speak English. Go. Talk.
Very interesting facts, sir, and I'm glad that you had amazing analysis.
Anytime I fail, you're like, great job.
Oh, listen, we're positive today, man. Like, we gotta support people even when they fail. We gotta be super nice. As, speaking of super nice, the entire Legion team is just like, oh my god, I want to give you a gigantic hug, Glacius. How are you doing? Welcome to our jungle. And we're gonna send you back to base.
I didn't get to leap on Glacius. No.
Yeah, it's like the one time where he hasn't leaped in for the final kill. But, you know, I actually like the demonic breastplate pickup on Cthulhu. He's basically a gigantic elephant that has a hard time dying and doesn't really do too much to help his team, so getting those helpful items where you can just stay in the middle of the team fight and throw down all those great auras that you get from that item. And he just loves running over those mines. I think he just is like begging someone. Doesn't do it for his heroes, but if he goes for him, maybe. Come on, somebody. It sounds like a car. You sound like a Integra or something.
I wish he would have gone for a Maka Brilliance. I keep saying I want to see that on Cthulhu. He's so hard to kill. And Maka Brilliance is just going to, doesn't add to that, but it basically takes advantage of that, basically. There's a little bit of back and forth against Predator here, but nothing's going to come of it. Oh, a big stun from Engineer on Amura. Amura will fall, but he will come back right in the face of Cthulhu. You see Cthulhu just doesn't care. Look at a fat piece of elephant. They're going to get the kill out on Amun-Ra. And with that, I think it's safe to say somehow Legion has crawled back in this game.
Oh, they haven't just crawled back in this game. They crawled in, and they're now just they're pretty much in control. Like, I don't know how it's possible.
What is Predator building? Is he going for Insanitarius now? Like, I don't understand. Make up your mind.
I think, in all honesty, he's picking items that give him attack speed. He's not really necessarily planning on making them into anything. He's just going for attack speed items, which is what it is. So let's just move on from that.
I mean, the demonic breastplate's going to really help against this push here. Whoop! Initiation Predator on Glacius, his favorite target, but he will not die, at least not right away. I'm sorry.
Anyways, we're going to take this over here. So Dr. Repulsor is going to go back to the base, and SUNSfan is just absolutely dying. There's the ultimate from Glacius. And big charge from Cthulhu doing a good job breaking that as Electrician finishes up the job. There goes the rest of their team. We're going to see if Amun-Ra, who actually just respawned, is going to maybe turn this around. Electrician taking a lot of damage. And it does go down, so now Dampier and Cthulhu are going to have to fall back, I would imagine. Don't really think Dr. Pulsar should get too aggressive here, as they can easily go in with Dampier and maybe turn that around. SUNSfan, how are you doing? Oh no, he's still dying.
Okay, what did I tell you earlier?
I don't even know.
What did I tell you? I told you something specific. Don't let me something.
I see. That's a little unfortunate for you.
Nothing happened though. Okay, so I blasted one basically, but it was really loud, and now it reminded me, now this is going to be an inside joke between me and Xeno, but hopefully we'll be able to release the video soon. It reminds me of a time where we're
Yes,
trying to do
I
a
see.
podcast, right? Trying to do a podcast, and I was holding down my mic talking about something serious, and my brother walks in, completely butt naked, and he rips one. And I know it's hard to believe how, it's hard for me to explain how loud they can be. Basically, it's a very loose anus, and we'll just leave it at that. And me and Zeno could not stop laughing for literally 15 minutes, and it's on. It's recorded, so I think we're gonna make.
Yeah, it is
a video
recorded
out of that
somewhere. We'll have to make a video eventually. And for those of you that are hearing this story and thinking, "Oh, his brother must be like some 8-year-old kid," nah. How old is he? Like 30? Like 30 something? I don't know. So very interesting guy.
I'm gonna have to try to catch my breath there. I don't know if I can do this.
All right. Well, Engineer is going old school Engineer build, throwing down the Thunderclaw, which we haven't seen on Engineer for quite some time. But whatever. Maybe wanted to throw out just some more general DPS, as they're going to try and two-man conquer, which definitely will not work with the latest buffs to him, ignoring his gigantic Frankenstein arms. This will be an interesting thing. I think this is kind of a mistake for the Legion team, as they might get caught here. Elmer definitely knows what's up, but unfortunately Dr. Pulse is nowhere to be found. Don't know if that's a good idea, as Engineer's gonna have to try and make a run for it. There's the Glacier Soul getting out a lot of damage and telling. Wow, there's the lead coming in, of course, onto the Glacier from Predator. He's just gonna run around auto-attacking. People are dropping left and right now. Swiftblade and Amon-Ra in a lot of trouble. Swiftblade is the last one there, as Dr. Pulse is slowly making his way over from mid. No, he's just gonna run away.
Engineer with a nice late fight ult there. I mean, Shrunken Head picked up on Swiftblade. Not really going to do too much when you've already used it, and then Engineer ults.
And the concede vote gets thrown out there.
There's no way S2 gives up this.
Yeah, S2's
no way.
S2 fights to the end. You know, they're like the oh no, were they Greek? I can't even remember. In 300, I got nothing.
Spartans.
There you go. Dear God. Anyways,
Spartans versus Persian. They are diving Repulsor, but he's going to be able to hold out of that, no problem.
You know it's been a long
game. Being
day.
Persian, I have a real problem with that movie. They made Xerxes look like a
very attractive man.
Very metrosexual person. I'll just leave it at that. Nothing wrong with that. You know, I like to get pedicures, manicures, no problem. They're gonna get this melee rack. That is wow. Only Cthulhuphon and Electrician. You see the power of the demonic breastplate there. As Electrician gonna try to hold them off from that fat piece of elephant.
Well, they don't really necessarily need to leave Electrician to die with that demonic breastplate and two heroes heading that way. They might try and turn this around in the jungle, but Cthulhuphon's like, nah, I'm not helping you. I'm sorry.
Or Electrician. Where is everybody?
He's like, no, I'm charging right back into the entirety of their team.
I mean, the fact that he stayed alive, this has been about 20 plus seconds. Anybody could have come at that time, and they would have won. They would have genocided if they had got. So, interesting play there. But again, these are the throws we talk about that we've been seeing all day. Obviously, not a big enough throw since it's only one hero, but maybe, you know, put together over time to make another comeback this time for Hellborn. Indeed. This is, I mean, it's really a shocking turn of events. Swiftblade still doesn't have upgraded boots, and I'm not sure what that's all about.
What the heck?
Really weird.
I could have sworn he had a Firebrand, and now that is completely gone, and he has a Shrunken Head.
You're right. So who sold that?
Guess he decided to go a different route on that one.
Ooh,
interesting.
Savage Mace on Dampier. Wow.
Yeah, Dampier is going all out carry mode at this point in time, so
he can easily do it.
To really throw down a lot of auto attack damage.
I mean, he's doing 300 damage just on auto attack, not to mention with the demonic breastplate and having that -5 armor to enemy units. And then he's doing even more damage with all his spells with that level 3 spell shard. So he is doing a crap. I mean, he does about 1,000 damage just with his spells alone. Put in his auto attack, which is ridiculous. 300 damage plus the 100 damage proc from Savage Mace. And, I mean, that is ridiculous. I really like that build. I like that. I like it a lot.
Yeah, and with the amount of farm that he is
getting,
he is at almost 400 gold per minute. Yeah, it's good that he's putting items into his inventory, I guess, that will actually be good in scale late games. So he was definitely
picks up a very late game at Sanitarius.
Yeah,
on the other side of the coin there.
Well, Sanitarius is something you usually do get around 15 minutes. So, oh, I don't know. At least he made something out of his items. I have no idea where his warp club went. He probably sold it.
No,
Oh, no,
it's
it's still
in his
there.
inventory.
Good point.
I remember him buying it around the exact same time that demonic was picked up. So once he picked it up, he's like, "Oh, I mean, he didn't realize it. So if that's the case, I like the idea that he doesn't go ahead and finish it, or even go for a troll item in the item that shall not be named because I can never remember the name. It's useless. Mjolnir, whatever it's called.
Charged hammer,
Charged
very
hammer,
good.
yeah. Yep.
As
yep.
they're going to do it for Congar attempt number 2, and I think this time they'll have success in getting a very interesting decision going in at that point in time. Alman wrong. But it looks like they're just going to wait for the opportune moment. A missed hook from Gollum. This is going to be not good. As wow, a steal from Dr. Repulsor, and there's the ult from Glacius. This might be a decent turnaround for the Hellborn team. Predator's in a lot of trouble, but does take down Alman Ra. He's going to keep auto attacking. Can he keep alive? No, there's a disable from Dr. Repulsor. Is going to continue to play very aggressively, but not taking a lot of damage. Oh man, he uses that token there, and maybe we'll have to fall back. Let's get Thulafont running around dealing a lot of damage here. Don't know why he charged that far past Swiftblade, who pops a shrunken head, really not for that much of a reason. It is a 1v4 at this point in time. But meanwhile, at top, we do have Electrician looking to cut off that Swiftblade, who does manage to TP out. We do have this illusion of Dampier doing absolutely nothing. Thulafont is now finding himself in a bit of trouble, but the missed hook from Gauntlet might allow him to get away, because Dr. Pulsar does not have that much mana left, but now he gets stuck in the trees, unfortunately. So, and there's Electrician.
That is
like,
big,
yeah, remember
right
Cthulhu
there.
when you left me to die for no reason? That's what I'm doing right now. What's up?
But if he dies in the end, then it will all be for nothing. But that is a pretty large throw. Token of Life was picked up, ninja'd by Dr. Repulsor, timed it really well. Ended up using it, but it ended up working out for them, getting basically a genocide minus this Electrician who's still running away at this point.
And that's the second time they tried to go for Kongor without really any good vision, and the second time that they've gotten into a little bit of trouble for it. So maybe next time they'll look to pick up some words and throw them down there before going for Kongor.
Now we're having some spell shards picked up by Gauntlet now. And Dr. Repulsor, I don't know if we've technically mentioned, he's had it for a while, and Nullstone on top of that Hellflower, so he is getting ridiculous amount of mana regen. In fact, he's getting 30.19 magic. Mana regeneration, which is ridiculous. Obviously very needed for him. Predator's going to be jungling. He's going to be careful though. He's got 3 Hellborn heroes that are unaware of it, that are in the middle lane, and they're going to peruse past him, perhaps.
Yeah, but
Question
they can
is he gonna
easily
get Stone
fight
Hide
this
off
if
in
they
time?
want. Oh, what are you guys doing as this team leaves him? And man, it's going to be like a 3v3, and they can easily turn this around. You have Predator doing a lot of auto attack damage if he can actually get any help from this team, but he doesn't. So, here we are again. This is like just when we thought that we were safe.
Oh, not too much damage, but from Switchblade on the Engineer, they're going to get the kill. And in the middle lane, Gauntlet goes down to the ridiculously farmed Dampier, who we haven't really seen in the actual team fight since he's picked up those Redonkadonk items. Now, unfortunately for Engineer, he just gave up on those mines in that specific spot. And he's just like, you know what? I'm going to put him somewhere else. Which is unfortunate to see. I was really looking forward to seeing at least one person get... I think anyone would have gotten insta-give. Perhaps... Okay, not Amon-Ra. Anybody but Amon-Ra, I think, would have gotten insta-give by that absolute farm of... I don't know if it's on a farm.
The real shame here is for as much as Team S2 really kind of drew their lead earlier in this game, I think Legion started to make a run for equaling that feat. I don't really know what they're doing.
But the difference now is Dampier does a ridiculous amount of damage, and nobody on Hellborn really can do that. Swiftblade just doesn't have much DPS items right now. I mean, look at him. He went Shrunken Head. Okay, after his Runed Axe, which is when you're supposed to supposed to start getting all these DPS items. He gets a Shrunken Head, then he finishes his Phase Boots, finally, and now he has Soul's Bulwark.
Yeah, and as we're getting kind of late into the day, these are sort of the final matches here for the S2 versus Community event. I'm hoping we see the Community win. Like, come on, we don't have that many more chances to get more coins. What is this?
That's ridiculous. But, I mean, it's going to help his ultimate in auto attack with that -5 armor, but at the end of the day, you're going up against a demonic breastplate. So basically, you're canceling one of the effects out. But at the end of the day, you really want to get attack speed on Swiftblade, or just agility in general, because he can get extra auto attacks within that ultimate.
Yeah,
Basically scales really well.
Swiftblade is caught without a TP all by himself. We'll see if maybe they can make something out of this and get a nice pick off here, but instead not decide to necessarily go the right way, and so
TP
he's gonna
spin.
buy a
Spin TP, come on, come on.
There's a
There it
spin, and that was a little late,
No, he's good.
but he's still by far
middle.
easily good.
Oh.
Well, in mid, we do have a gank going on to
Yeah, that's what
our
Bros are
completely
talking
farmed Dampier.
I don't know if I'd call that a gank if he's on their side of the river. Exactly.
Okay, not a gank, a kill, whatever.
Oh, he's going for a rift shard. He's going hardcore mode. I would just get
I don't even know what to
shrunken
say
head and be done
anymore,
with it. Game's over if you get a shrunken head. He just does way too much damage. And it looks like Dr. Repulsor out of nowhere gets a barrier idol. So, trying to look here.
Yeah, and you did have
I guess-
Cthulhu Font go towards a heart instead of something like a Mock, and I don't necessarily know if
Yeah.
that's the right choice because he's just so tanky already. I mean, do you really need more survivability? People basically ignore
I mean, they
him
have no
as
reason
it
to
is,
attack
so-
him. Other than that, the buff you're going to get from the demonic. Other than that, there's no reason to attack him until he's the last one standing. And the heart just ensures that. But on the other side of the coin, we have Amon Ra picking apart as well. So he's decently farmed as well. Not as farmed as Cthulhu Font on the other hand. And here's Initiation. Glacius is going to get a decent ult off before Predator comes in with that. He just nut hugs Glacius all over again. And Gauntlet's going to get stunned by Electrus. He's going to get taken down. Still a decent ult from Engineer, keeping people in place. And you see Ra just basically stuck inside the walls there. He's going to respawn. Dr. Repulsor with a lot of mana. Needs to warp away a little bit. Hasn't. I guess he did use the barrier idol. In the meantime, you see the ult and spin from Swiftblade doing a ton of damage. 3 for 2 exchange at this point, and Predator's gonna go down. And Engineer is the last one standing for the Legion. Is he gonna get the last one? No, as a hat trick comes out for Jamestown. He gets a triple kill. Nice job by him, basically avoiding a ton of damage. I do believe... No buyback for Dampier. Oh, that's right, he died alone. That's correct.
And
But
he's
gonna
still
be
gonna
fine.
look to maybe get a kill here. Dr. Pulsar gets a lot of mana back, but I don't know if it's gonna be enough to... Oh, I guess it is. Lock in a chase. So, at least they didn't lose the Rex.
There's always that.
But this is not really a good turn of events here for the community team.
Team fight, Legion wins. The team fight. Just because Dampier won't die right away, and he's doing the most damage by far. Now, unless
sure.
Swiftblade can get a ton of DPS items out of nowhere, like I don't agree with his item build right now. I mean, those are the type of items that, for the Shrunken Head, I can understand. That's fine. He's going to use it to go through Engineer Vault especially. But Soul's Bulwark, leave that to another hero to pick up, because it doesn't really benefit you directly in any way other than your ultimate, to some regard. But at the end of the day, you're better off getting, like I've said, agility. As Rift Shards officially picked up on Mr. Dampier. So he's just going for big-time procs at this point.
And I mean, for how good he's been doing, I mean, definitely farming very well. He's 17, 12, and 16. Shockingly enough, when you take a look at Jamestown playing that Dr. Repulsor, 17, 6, and 11, farming at 240 gold per minute, so not doing too bad himself. And you know, he's a hero that, again, he's not necessarily like the hardest late game carry, but he's still a very good late game hero. So the game isn't really over yet, even if they do have some time.
Cheap stick on Electrician. Mega farm, this whole team. I guess the game is 55 minutes in, so not too surprising in that regard.
Yeah. It's been a long game, and it's actually been a relatively back and forth game, which is kind of nice to see, although some of the back and forth has more been mistakes by one team or another than necessarily great plays by one team or another. I'd like to say that Jamestown actually has been playing pretty well as Dr. Repulsor, despite some mishaps early, maybe getting sort of caught in the wrong spot as we have Detonator rattling off that motherboard. Kind of excited to see. I'd love for you to get it again.
Actually,
it's a real dream.
I know, I could stream, people could watch how good I am at this game.
Oh,
Or maybe
they watch
not
out
so good.
hypocritically.
Yeah, it's very hypocritical indeed. Dampier, I think I just figured out the solution to Dampier's ultimate. The charge system. If you die, you lose 1 charge. Very easy to get back, but you have to take the effort to actually do it. What do you think about that?
Oh, I think that'd be a nice little buff to him. I don't know how much it matters. It looks like we're gonna have Dr.
That's a
Pulsar
big buff.
pushing straight
There you
down
go.
middle here. You can see that he basically can use his ult as a nice little mobility feature and get most of his mana back right off the bat. We have a little bit of a double push, so they're looking to press their advantage here. And this might be at least a chance for maybe Legion to have a team fight.
Yeah,
see.
and Hellborn is separated at this point, and they're going to lose team fights in general, so I kind of like the double push strategy, because they have to kind of split up the Legion team as well. Or the Legion team's just going to initiate on one side and lose the other rack. So, definitely like this play. Pretty much the only thing they can do right now is Gauntlet's initiated on. He's dead before he can really do anything. And you see the auto attack from Dampier, like going through that Switchblade like nothing. It's like hot knife through horsing butter. Tell you what. 3 people dead to Hellborn. That's not a good fight at the end of the day.
Yeah, not only having Dampier in and of himself there is a good thing, but the fact that he gives us lifesteal, that little extra boost to Predator is a big deal. So nice to see them finally group up and have a little bit of a fight. Come on, community team. I'm cheering for you.
Indeed.
We're completely biased casters in this game.
I mean, even Cthulhu, if you think about every melee hero is going to get a huge buff from that lifesteal, obviously. And Cthulhu, now that he has actual attack speed, although I don't like the demonic breastplate in this specific game on him, it really actually synergizes pretty well.
Yeah, as an initiation on Ra is going to be a little bit of trouble here. Does have his ult, so he will be coming back. You don't want to get too crazy here. If you're the Legion team overextending to kill someone, that will be coming back. But Glacius goes down. Amon-Ra still alive temporarily, but he uses his first of 2 lives, and Dr. Coulson taking a lot of damage too. Might have to fall back, getting pretty aggressive here, looking to take down the Electrician, but instead ends up getting himself killed. So,
Massacre.
Jamestown.
God! 12 health
no,
on Dampier.
that
He tries to run away from
Dampier
Switchblade.
making a run for it.
Oh! Oh god! Just auto attack. He can kill him. I promise you. I promise you.
that
700 crit.
list,
700 crit. Oh, that was awesome. That was awesome. Cthulhu, on the other hand, just tanking the entire team. But in the meantime, 2 racks down. So, GG.
Ah,
Community.
yes.
Boom. Boom. Shaka.
Big plays, community team. Big plays.
Love you. Finally. 10 extra coins. Yes. There you go. Ooh, man, Dampier. I'd love to see this. I'd love to see a hard carry Dampier. I love it. Man, that makes me want to play Dampier now. Again, going a whole Dampier streak.
Yeah, I'm sure that'll last for the one game where you play him and then get crapped on. You're like, God, this hero, so underpowered. What's
I
wrong?
won't say he's underpowered. I'll say you guys suck. It's all your fault.
That's true. I forgot about the blaming everybody team part.
Yes.
Not that I would ever do
That's a tradition. I feel like. So, it's not out of the norm. By any means.
So if you're the
I think they
S2
picked up
team,
something.
speaking of blame, who do you think they're blaming right now in the office or wherever they're located?
Let's see. Who threw the most here? Switchblade. Easily.
Blame it
Didn't
on
get the right
Switchblade,
items.
huh?
Yep.
Yeah.
He was kind of getting involved in fights a little too often. Once he picked up that Battle Fury, whatever you want to call it, he didn't actually farm up any items. We have a big team fight here. There's the ultimate engineer, and basically 3 dead, 4. They ended up killing him 2. The play was still dead, so it's gonna be yet another easy Rax, and that's gonna be Mega Forcing 3. So Dampier now is working towards a
The hungry hippo here. Yeah.
He likes the agility, apparently. He likes the damage. As this game's over. So, fun game to cast. I enjoyed this. A lot of back and forth. Best game of the day, I think.
And honestly, when you think about it, like, if you watch this game and you kind of closed your eyes and didn't know what the MMR was, like, I would be like, yeah, this is like a 1300 game.
Yeah, I agree.
So overall, I thought, it was a pretty decent game, lots of back and forth. And
maybe the 1300 players complaining that other people throw, and that's why they're so low, is actually accurate. I never thought about that. Maybe Reeves has a point. But he plays with us. I'm not sure. GG!